I have to. It's live. Let me pull up the screen quick. And that way, all right, live. I don't know why this pop-up thing, that iCard is not the one I set. I didn't even set an iCard. It keeps doing that same iCard for some reason. Oh, take my shoes off so I can get comfortable. So, just in a minute. Alright. Well, schedule's 30. Not even the, not even. Now, let me scoot up. Okay. You have to sit up. Okay. Oh, one. There.
Oh, center.
Mm-hmm. Good evening. Thing is moving.
It's got a delay.
Yeah, I know it's a delay on this one. That's why I always watch my screen. So it's his fault.
Are we online?
Mm-hmm. It's live. That's see the green thing.
Okay, is anybody on?
Yeah.
Oh, there's only one watching right now.
But that we can see.
Oh, it just says one.
So yeah, but it mean it's just one. That's just the count.
Hold on for a second. I need some curse juice. Okay.
So I did my little. I talked about already what was the basis of the series. If you want to say something, you can say something.
Well, are you ready for me? Are everybody ready? Because are you said everything that you need to say?
Mm-hmm. Or you just want to wait a minute? I mean, they can catch up, or
Well, I mean, people are gonna watch anyway eventually. So, I mean, I'm gonna give it a few more minutes before. But what I wanted to talk about on or touch on is positivity in the relationships because it's so much negative out there. So I wanted to talk about the positive. Everything you see out there is always people disrespecting each other, disregard for each other. So I just wanted to touch on we need to start loving each other again and stop blaming each other whose fault is this or whose fault is that. We have to come to a point where we have to heal, especially as a black woman and a black man. We have so much healing to do. And the first part of healing is stop pointing fingers. Because when you point fingers, you got one out for the other person and you got three back at you. So the first thing that I wanted to touch on is communication, but I'm going to try to give people a few minutes to come in on that. But if not, I'll give them a few minutes and then I'll start.
Sounds good to me. 7-11. 7-3. That's 7-11. It's weird.
So are you just going to be kind of listening, learning and something right now? You trying to see what my views is?
Are. Yeah, I'm just listening. Say what I feel is appropriate and keep it moving.
Okay. Well, I see only one watching. They'll fall in. Um, what I wanted to talk about is communication. And the first thing to any relationship is effective communication. And what I mean by effective communication, that means if you're yelling at me or if I'm yelling at you, who's listening to each other? Effective communication means where you're actually listening and I'm actually, or I'm actually listening. And effective communication is done properly by not demeaning the other person, because as soon as you start talking about the other person or saying what they did or what they don't did do or whatever like that, they're not listening. They're going to cut it off. It's going to go in one ear and not the other. It's going to be a bunch of blah 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 blah. So if you want to get your point across, if you got a legitimate gripe or a
Or very good. I like that. Thank you. I'll come look at it in a few minutes. We'll look at it in a minute, okay? Close the door. Thank you. They so proud of building the Lego City.
Okay. Well, so, okay, back to the communication thing. If you got a legitimate gripe, so if I had a problem with her or anything, just I mean, we'll say a problem because when you're happy or whatever, you talk normally. If I have a situation with her where I don't like something, I'm not gonna come and yell at her or cuss her out or anything like that. I'm going to wait and I'm going to tell her, hey, uh, I had a problem with that, and she's going to be more willing to listen to me than if I come accusing or, yelling at her about something, or I'm not going to be able to get my point across unless you just want to yell for whatever reason. But if I want to get my point across to her or vice versa, you got to talk to each other like a human. You got to kind of treat it like a business relationship, because in a sense it is. You guys made a business agreement with each other. When you get married, that's in a business arrangement between two people. So you got to kind of treat your marriage in a sense when you're communicating with the other person like a business relationship. If you want to effectively get your point across, or if you effectively want to get something done.
But the thing is, people do not do that. And then there's that dominant person that wants to tell you that you are going to listen to what they have to say, or they're going to talk regardless. And that's not even fair. It's not even, to me, it's just, I can't really, it's asinine, really. I mean, you
Well,
can't make somebody listen to you because you're the man or because you're the woman. Who cares?
Well, that's why I say effective. If you can't communicate effective, that's a big problem. But if you love each other and stuff like that, you have to try effectively. If you're not trying effectively, and first get this whole thing about who's boss and who's this out. Play your lane. What you're good at. You like, okay. For instance, if she tries to tell me something about fixing cars or working on something or whatever, I'm gonna say, hey, that's my lane. Let me handle that, cause I know how to do that stuff or whatever. Or if when it comes to decorating or something like that, or I'm gonna play my lane. I'm gonna let her have that. It's not about it's okay who's the boss or who's dominant. No, if as a couple you're supposed to build on each other's strengths, not if I'm getting with her, I'm getting with her for her strengths too. So I'm not gonna try to take over and run what she does good at. That's wrong. That's what I feel.
And that's the same thing my dad was telling us. Remember, he was telling us the story about my brother and what he did. And he told me to let you handle what you have to handle and stay out of it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's the exact same thing. It just, there's no head of this and head of that. And, we cannot just sit down and, you know, play that. Well, I'm the woman, so I have to stand behind my man. You can stand there and look like a fool.
I don't.
But
I don't want nobody to stand behind me. I want them to stand beside of me.
yeah, yeah. You don't want to stand behind anybody. Because at the on the flip, would he stand behind you? No. So
No, I would. No.
no, you would back my
Yeah.
whatever, but not like that.
Well, okay, that's what you
Not
gotta say it, like backing.
okay. Well, I'm just you know
I'm gonna back you in public.
yeah,
If
you're
I
gonna
disagree
back
with
me,
you,
but
I'm gonna tell you in privately.
yeah, but you're not gonna. I mean, you're gonna be the forefront of you know.
And see, one thing about it is you have to go back. to our societies before we had Christianity or before we had American. We go back to ancient Kemet or go back. You had women queens. You had women that ran things and stuff like that. So you can't say, okay, I'm the boss of this or I'm the boss of that. Or, you guys got to get that out of your head about who's the boss and who's the
But
boss of
see,
that. That's got.
that's the institution part of marriage. That's the government. Okay, and the head of the household thing. You guys, or you all that are so stuck on that. You know what? And then you run in. Oh, I'm in the truth in the Bible. No, you let the government step in. You are assuming those government roles. Head of household. That's the government doing that. Okay, that's the kind of marriage, the institution that you're in. There's no such thing. If you're into the Bible, whatever, there's no such thing. Government, for tax purposes, head of household, single, married, what is it? That's government stuff. Okay? And if you're living like that, yeah.
Well, like I said, communication. You can't. It's not. You got to recognize each other's strengths, and communication is effective. You have to be effective to effective communication. I mean, like I said, going back to, and it goes back to communication is when respecting each other. It has something to respect. It has something to do with love. It has to do with everything. Because if I communicate effectively to my mate on what I wish and what I like, and long as it's not a main issue, she can accommodate that or whatever, and vice versa. So communication, effective communication
It's a tool
is the main tool,
and not a
even.
weapon.
No, it's not, because that's why I said effective. Because
Yeah.
the other kind of communication is not. It's not even warranted. It's
Yeah, it is the most important tool. But it's always the one that, it's like the thing is everybody knows that, but they don't have the time. So we have to.
but it doesn't take. It doesn't take. It takes more time fixing some stuff that you said wrong instead of just doing it the right way the first time. Instead of saying, okay, well,
Yeah, it does. But when everybody's dealing with the kids and it's just busy and you going to work and I mean, like, how do you do that? How can you build that time to communicate effectively when you're busy doing stuff? You're running around doing this and that. What happens is you need to balance things out. One person should not be doing everything all the time. You shouldn't have to be running all over tarnation every time you off work or he's off work or whatever. You need to streamline things. You should have a time where you're doing laundry, where your spouse is not at home, so that it's done. Get everything done that you need done so that you can have that extra time. Stop trying to create issues. Stop watching YouTube. That's your time. Stop watching TV. That's your time that you could be using to manage the house. And so you can spend that communication time. Because see, that's what's happening. You're spending the idle time is not really idle. You're just wasting time. That's what I see around here. What you think?
I mean, time management is definitely a part of it, because everybody wants their. I come in and I'm off 2 days. Yes, and I understand you got the kids, and I spend time with the kids, but I also want my time with you. So yeah, of course, time management. And if I feel like you uh if it's during my time you gotta do laundry or something like that, of course I'm gonna get slighted. But at the same time, that goes back to communication, because if I communicate to you telling you, hey, I need my time, and whatever we need to do to make that happen, we can make that happen. Also consideration. So I understand she's got the kids or something like that. So okay, I know I'm off 2 days, but I like to cook. So okay, one of them days that she okay, I give her a little time, even though I'm off 2 days, and I know I'm at work and I'm over on the oil field. So yeah, okay, I got consideration. I like to cook, so since I like to cook, I'll come in one of the days and I'll cook and I'll make sure everybody's taken care of. Even though and then she doesn't have to do nothing, so she can get a little time where she can take care of things and stuff like that. So later on, when it comes time for me, I'm gonna get my time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so no excuse. And same thing with the
Because you have
husband.
to help. You have to help.
He
You
have
have
to
to help.
help you. And we were talking about other thing, just the balance. It's not always up to the woman to go, the grocery store and all of that. Let the man take the child to the store or children to the store. Go to the grocery store, do your grocery shopping. Let him do it. You don't always have to do that. He would do that all the time, and I would just be at home, just having some time by myself. Right?
Yeah, yeah. I've taken the kids to the store before, and I've taken this.
Plenty of times.
Yeah, that's not a big issue. I mean, you know, just like with the mother, you tell them, hey, you better not do this, you better not do that. You assert your authority with the kids, and bottom line, you don't have no issues. You don't have to do it. You do it one time and one time only, and they know kids are smart.
That might give you time to clean up the house in peace, because sometimes that can mess you up if you don't have the. I don't know. Sometimes if you just, kids running around, you're trying to clean up, you just want to get done and get focused, and you want it to stay clean more than 5 minutes. So, let them leave the house. That way you can do what you need to do and be in a pleasant mood. When he comes back, then you're ready. Oh, I really appreciate that little time. Even if it's just 10 minutes. He went to go get a couple things. I appreciate you taking him so I can do this.
Well, communication and consideration, that's the second thing. Consideration is definitely a part of it. And also, if you're mad or you angry, don't be mean. Don't enact off emotions or whatever like that. Because sometimes when you say things and you put it out there, people always remember that. So if you don't really mean it and you just want somebody to leave you alone, like I was irritated with me and she said, "Leave me alone, Dewey." And okay, I'll leave her alone. Or I'll say, "Hey, everybody leave me alone. I don't feel like talking right now," or whatever, because I'm trying to sort things out. Okay, she understands that, and the kids got to my son's got to understand that, because he's the only one that doesn't. When he gets to talking and running his mouth, he want to go 40, go 90. But anyway, but I understand that, so I'll like the other night she go to sleep. Okay,
you need to have some kind of common effective code instead of just blowing up. I see this a lot. I mean, just with kids, and I know we're talking about couples, but it does happen a lot. If somebody's frustrated about something and they start just yelling, just simply say, "Leave me alone." And when it gets to that point, they know, "Leave me alone. Don't tell me nothing. Nobody's hurt. If you're bleeding, none of that. Just leave me alone. You can figure it out. Go to somebody else for the moment, and then I come to you." It's got to be something just really simple so that they know, back off.
Right. The simple words, you say, "Leave me alone." As long as you understand that, hey, she just needs to calm down, or I need to calm down, and for nobody to say anything mean or whatever. Because when you say that mean word, and people forget about it, they hold on to that, and that's the type of side it's negative. So you want to try your best not to say anything negative, especially like I'm not talking about somebody going out, or I'm older. I I don't want to do nothing without her. So that's where I'm at right now. If I'm gonna go out, I'd rather go out with her. If we went to the movies the other night, I dragged her along to the movies. She necessarily said she want to go, but hey, I wanted to go see Deadpool. She came. So
yeah.
So next time it'll be her turn. Whatever she wants to go see. I went
in support of him, but it was good though. It was just the time that we had together. So, I mean, I knew he would appreciate that. So yeah, sometimes you do things, because the other person will appreciate it, and it just don't do it. Well, remember that time I did, and I really did. Don't do that. If you really don't want to do it, don't do it. Okay, don't throw it back. Don't do it to throw it back in their face. That's the wrong. Be pleasant. Do it to do it.
But it's you do it. You're still enjoying your time with the person that you're supposed to be with, and that you got to look at it like that. Mm-hmm. You can't look at it like, okay, I'm going to a movie I want to go see. Okay, sometimes you do things you don't want to do in a relationship, but at the same time, next time make it your turn. Like I said, always be like, okay, well, I want to go see it. Yeah, don't just be selfish, because you can't be selfish. You have to be considerate, communicate, and that's what I'm not gonna go too far today. This is just the first series, but we'll talk about more other things and stuff like that. But consider it also too. I mean, I'm gonna touch on this a little bit. If you're a man and you know that your wife, I'm just gonna put it out there. We're older. I am almost 50 years old. And there's a lot of men in my age group that have a problem with ED. Hopefully you guys don't understand that. That's erectile dysfunction. I don't have a problem with that. But the reason why, because I do the research and I do natural stuff. Now, some people are proud and they don't want to do things to fix their things, and I hear this from some of my friends and some of their girls. Well, they talk. Well, they get upset that their men are not considerate enough to go look into things to fix themselves, and then they wonder why things are going awry. Is because if you have a situation with yourself and you can fix it, and you don't, well, you're wrong. And that's all I gotta say on that. But we'll talk more about that on another series. But I just wanted to touch on that, because that is consideration. You have to be considerate of your mate, and you have to listen to your mate, because that definitely makes uh,
Growth.
well, I mean, it means a lot to the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a relationship, so you
It
have to.
holds you accountable as well.
Mhm.
So,
But we're going to touch on that another day. But this day, I just want to really talk about communication, effective communication, because effective communication is so important, and also consideration. That's important, and that's really want to talk about those two things right now. But unless you have something else. But I just really want to talk about that, because communication, it definitely is an essential thing to, as the first part. Because if you don't effectively communicate, if I come on saying, hey, you this and you that, and you need to do this and you need to blah, and well, how am I going to get my point across?
oh, that's another day. Also very important if for a big thing, a big what do you call it? Look back, not look back, but look back. Your previous relationships really determine a lot, and whether your pride can really get you if you let it, your pride will really come into your new relationship or your new marriage or whatever. And the spouse can see that. Okay, they can see things even if you don't tell them. But what happens is, because I listened to somebody say this, person in a previous relationship, and they, whatever they were doing now, they were doing it then. And I saw that, and I saw there was no accountability on that other person's part. There was no accountability here. You have to be, I mean, if it's a previous relationship, obviously it didn't work. So you can't come into a new relationship thinking you didn't do anything. You have to hold yourself accountable. You did something to contribute to the demise of the previous relationship. Don't come into a new one thinking that, even if that other person, was in a previous relationship and obviously it demise, don't think it's all their fault. Even though they played a part, we all play a part. Everybody has to be held accountable for everything. It's not you can't really bury it. It's going to manifest again. So accountability, I mean, it goes hand in hand with the communication. Somebody told you, well, you never talked to me, that's why we didn't get along. You need to listen to that, because you don't want to take that into the next relationship or your marriage or whatever.
Okay, well, my touch on is that my last marriage was you. Okay, my previous. Okay, what I look at from this way I look at it, and then you look at your previous relationships, and you can look at what's wrong. But my dad always said, you look at every situation as a learning situation. So I look at what I learned from that situation, even if that person didn't do me the way that I wanted to do. But is I still look at it, what I learned from that situation, so I don't take do continue to do in the future. And that's one thing I've learned. Also, I look back at some of my things, my issues concerning my mother, or the relationship I had towards women, and dealt with that. So because that was a big problem in my previous relationships, is that the way I dealt with my mother, or the way my mother dealt with me and stuff like that, I had certain resentments built up, and I dealt with those issues. Now there's certain things you have to work on yourself too, because if you don't work on yourself, uh, how you gonna work on anybody else, or expect somebody
Work
else?
together.
Yeah.
It's teamwork. If you cannot work within yourself and work on yourself, there is no teamwork, and nobody wants to. With the last person, everybody knows the sore the sore loser. I mean, you like the last person picked on the team, the weak link. Nobody wants that, and everybody, has strengths to bring to the table and weaknesses, but together, if you both work together, you can both be strong.
Okay. Well, like I said, I really stated everything. If anybody has any questions,
Comments.
comments or whatever, I'll address those. But like I said, I don't want to go too deep the first time, because I'm not trying to lose interest. I'm trying to get people to follow this. So I'm gonna cut it. So if any question,
Yeah, you guys can leave your questions in the leave your questions in the replay, and I'll make sure to check, and we'll address those in the future, so that
or if anything you guys want us to address specifically.
exactly, yeah, if there's anything else that you want us to kind of cover or whatever, any
And we're not perfect by further means. We don't claim to be.
yeah.
We come flawed. So, but at the same time, we come trying to work with each other. And so, since we're working with each other, we figure that we see enough negative out there. We want to pass some positive along, because you don't see nothing but negative out there, and this and that, and everybody fighting against each other. This is love. I love her. I love her unconditionally. I got her back, or front, or side, whatever. But so, it is what it is. And this is the force, the creative force of the universe. This is what's supposed to happen. This is happening. So, uh, we don't come like we know it all or whatever. We still figure it out day to day, but at the same time, we strive to be positive, and in spite of everything else, we strive to be positive. So, and there's nothing. The way I look at life is, uh, there's nothing to stop me from what I want. I'm gonna get what I want.
Yeah, you're investing. So I did leave you guys what I talked about in the description box. I when I first introduced this, I typed it in, and I'll probably just leave it in there. I'll probably just have to, I don't know, copy and paste or something, but it's still in there. And just kind of give you an idea, and whoever an idea that is watching later on, of what is to come. So let's see, typo. Anywho, thank you all for watching. Thumbs up, subscribe if you have not, if that is something that this is something for you, or of interest. And we will see you all in a week. What do you think? Monday or Tuesday?
In about a week. I mean,
Or are we gonna do it in a month? Is it once a month or once a week? Twice?
Let's try bi-monthly.
Bi-monthly?
Yeah.
Okay. So next week or week after?
Week after.
Week after. All right. See you guys in a couple weeks.
And please watch, because we really want to make sure people, not for the sake of watching us, but just for the sake of working on the nourishing and rebuilding the black relationship, or whatever relationship, but just relationship period.
Yeah.
But we have a situation as a people, and I feel like we need to address it.
Be proactive. So you all be blessed, and we will see you all later. Put that over there.